Oh, hi everyone. This is gonna be very hard act to follow, and honestly. But thank you, Fiona. Actually, you have woken everybody up, so I don't need to do hard work then. Okay. So mindfulness and gratitude. That's what I'm going to be talking about. And so mindfulness is buzzword these days, and I think Fiona was talking about that as well, so at least some of it. And so my interest as a psychologist is both as a researcher, I look at what mindfulness is as a tool for the clinical practice, and as somebody who comes from India and is very grounded in Eastern philosophy and been practicing meditation for 23 years, I take care of my Eastern side and the essence of mindfulness. So that's what's going to be the flavor of today. So let's start with the practice. Pick up from where Fiona left. So 5 minutes, not long. I'll give you a guide you into the mindfulness practice. So just sitting. You're already sitting. Just be relaxed. Let go. Be here. And just close your eyes. And paradoxically, now bring your attention to this room. You've been here all day. Just extend your awareness outside you. And notice anything that comes to your awareness. The feeling of the room, the temperature of the room, any sounds. Take note of them. And then bring your attention, your awareness to yourself. Your whole being from top of the head to the toe, from the toes to the top of the head. And take note of any feeling, any sensations you might be having, you may not be having. And then move your attention to your breath. Your breathing is happening. Just follow the breath. The breath comes in, pause. Breath goes out, pause. The feeling of breathing. The movement in your chest or your tummy. Just continue to follow your breath. Right now, your awareness, your attention is very open. It's open to outside environment, open to your whole body, and also observing your breath. By now, you might be having some thoughts or images popping up. And when that happens, you pay attention to it without judging it, without fighting with it in any way, and bringing your attention back to the breath. Sometimes you might get carried away with your thoughts, and that's fine as well. When that happens, gently bring yourself back to the breath and just follow the breath, observe the breath. Keep your attention on your breath. Follow the breath. Pay attention to your body. Your whole body as one single being from top of the head to the toes. from the toes to the top of the head. Notice any changes that might have happened in the last few minutes. Gently move your fingers and toes and open your eyes when you're ready. How was it? Do you feel any different? Bit more relaxed? Bit more peaceful? Great. So what is mindfulness? So mindfulness is a non-judgmental observation awareness. When we say non-judgmental, we're saying without thinking. It's not judging like, oh, gee, this Indian, what is he up to? It's just about no thought. It also does not mean don't think. If thinking occurs, you pay attention to it. And mindfulness is learned by regulating. So what you are doing, you are learning mindfulness. You're learning to use your attention to use without judgment. One of the problems in this world is that every institution of knowledge teaches you to learn something through your thoughts. So we become very good at putting everything through the thought. I was at home actually, there was some function at our house and I had double booked, so I came anyway. And my wife runs a childcare center from home, and there was a little kitchen for the kids to play, a wooden kitchen. And this little girl has come to our house, and I was just observing her, and she said, "Mom, come here." And mom comes, and there was a little, she is really good, this really nice place at the end of the, this kitchenette. And she said, "Yeah, it's nice." She said, "Get in there." And I said, "No, darling, I can't fit." No, get in there. That is the situation of the mind. It puts everything through the thought. It does not know anything other than the thought, like the little child. It's a really nice space down there. You can get in there and I'll tuck you in. Mother doesn't fit there. So the universe is not going to fit in your thoughts. So what are the qualities of this attention that you are just exercising? That is in the present moment. Remember, your thoughts are not of present moment. There is no thought in the present moment. The moment you just use a thought, you've gone away from the present. Your thought, your mind is just past and future. There is no mind in the present. It's insightful. Now remember, when you're watching yourself, you're observing yourself, you're knowing yourself, you're learning about yourself, you're learning your mind. So it's that insight. And as you meditate, you'll get more and more insights. So it's a different kind of learning. And it's a relaxation, as you said, it's peace. And also, it's acceptance. I was saying, don't fight your thought. Let them come and go. Acceptance. And compassion. We were talking before, Fiona was talking about compassion. And this compassion is firstly for yourself. I don't like neighbors, so don't worry about the neighbors. Yourself. Be compassionate to yourself. So what you got, you will give it to others. And the deepening of these qualities gives the feeling of bliss. This is really important because often we don't find bliss in our life. We are pleasure seekers. We seek pleasure. And pleasure is just nothing but the movement of your mind. The more it moves, the better it is. And that's where we get caught. And the next thing, the gratitude is an attitude of thankfulness for the bliss. It is for nothing else. So you cannot have a gratitude if you are not mindful. If your mind is full of a lot of thoughts, there's no bliss inside, there's no gratitude. You can practice, you can try and be nice to your neighbors and everybody else, but when your chips are down, it's gone. So, what is the problem? If it is this simple, as I described, then what is the problem? The problem is that the automatic and constant chattering of the mind. You all know that, and I think you're probably one of the best trained people in the world. You know how busy your mind will be. And if it's busy, it's chattering. Simply, it's just going from one thought to another. It's going from past to future. Mind does not stay in the present moment. There's no mind in the present moment. There's no thinking. Present moment is just awareness. So the automatic and constant chattering, when it becomes rumination, then where the mental health problem is. And that's what the research has shown us. The recurrent depression is caused by ruminations and rumination because you're chattering mind. And the second thing we do is we identify with our thoughts. If I have a thought, it's a good thought, then I feel good. If I have a bad thought, oh gee, this presentation is not going anywhere, I feel depressed, I feel bad. So it's the identification, because this language, we are people of language, and that is our strength and that is our problem, because we're putting everything through the language, everything through the thought, and the language is I am so and so, we get caught. Me, I get caught. So that's our problem. Now the other thing is we have not learned to observe without thinking, as I said before, and particularly working of the mind itself. Probably some of you might have not thought that I need to actually check what this guy is doing. And by simply paying attention to it, you learn a lot about it and have not learned to still the mind. So that's another thing, is that we do not know how to be still. Physically, unless we're sleeping, or mentally. A lot of people try to concentrate, that's the wrong way to do it. And a lot of people don't want to do meditation because they think their mind is too much. It's not for them. It's actually for them. So we have to, and the other thing is that when your mind is still, it is conscious, it's aware, and that is the best of your awareness, because it has energy in it, because it's still, because it's like a mirror. It's not clouded with your knowledge, your thought. It reflects reality as it is. So what is our aim? So our aim is not about changing anything. That's about mindfulness. You don't change things. It's about acceptance. And it's about non-judgment. If you can do these two things, you are a Buddha. Acceptance and non-judgment. And creating a bit of gap between your thought and yourself. So a lot of people I see, they have problem because they identify with their thoughts. Oh, I'm such a bad man because I think like this. I'm such a bad mother because I think I'm going to kill my children. You know, this is the identification. I said, just put your thought here. It's an event occurring without your volition. How you feel now? Oh, I'm feeling better because the cat. Now, this is important. No, it's not about keeping mind empty. There is no empty mind. And I've been meditating for 23 years. My mind constantly goes. The only difference is I know how not to get entangled with it. So I just keep with my breath. So what's the evidence? It treats depression, anxiety, PTSD, personality disorder, pain, fibromyalgia, and psoriasis. So that's a meta-analysis study, 2003. There are a lot of more research have come. There are few researches and more are coming. I just put it there because of your medical background. So it does anatomical changes, neuroanatomical changes. And this is the research done on long-term meditators, about 40, 50 years of meditation practice. So the area to do with attention has actually thickened compared to thinning as we grow old. And changes in telomeres, this is a fantastic study. It goes to the core of our being, the chromosomes, the end of the chromosome, the telomeres. Somehow, only 1 month of mindfulness was able to regrow the length of telomeres in very stressed mother, because the stress has decreased the telomeres. And gene expression, there's another pain study that shows there's a particular gene that is involved with the inflammation. So inflammation causes the pain. So I think inflammation is responsible for many things, you know that. And mindfulness decreases inflammation by stopping that particular gene to express in that particular way. And Google Scholar will give you more. So I won't be long. So simple formulation. So what you could do, you know, Bruce, I attend Bruce classes, and he says 15 minutes, half an hour, we can do it. And I really believe in that. 15 minutes you can do mindfulness. Don't go for a lot of big formulations, simple one. You seem to be got caught up in your thinking. Okay? You seem to feel distressed about having bad thoughts. You seem to fight your thoughts. Your thinking seems to go around and around. And these are pretty much the problem that people with stress, anxiety, and depression come with. And overcoming these issues can be easier than you think. So this is what I teach to people. You don't think. Your thinking occurs. And by judging and you're fighting your thoughts, you're making it worse. What are you going to do? I have bad thoughts. Oh, Balveer, you're so terrible, man. Hey, go away. No, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to make it worse. If I just let the thought come, stay, and disappear, I'm sorted. So we need to learn to accept and increase awareness of the fact, particularly the working of the mind. And then I go on to saying, just 10 minutes of mindfulness is enough. And it takes time and effort to do mindfulness, particularly in the beginning. So you let your alarm clock be your master. You put it for 5 minutes, no matter what. You sit still for 5 minutes. Don't worry about the mind. It will go 100 miles an hour. It will come back. You're not going anywhere. Still your body, mind will follow. There are a lot of e-resources these days. I don't have time to do meditation with people. So what I do, YouTube is my favorite one, this Kabat-Zinn's guided mindfulness and body scan meditation. People love these things. And Calm, Fiona again was talking about Calm and Headspace. These are the apps, and they're really good apps. And next 2 slides, I'm not going to talk about those slides, but I will just quickly show the last one, because this is really a lifesaver for me. All the anxiety, all the trauma work, won't do it unless I have taught this to my clients. Unless they know how to regulate their breath, they cannot regulate themselves. So I say, don't try and control the mind, just control your breath. So you can use these 2 slides and give it to your client and refer to a psychologist if you need more. Thank you very much.